we antibiotic therapy we have not significantly discussed in the first three sessions, and this was an attempt at giving you some MCQs related to antibiotics. After we have finished today, the MCQs that we had taken for skin on the group, similarly some MCQs we'll be putting on antibiotics over the next few weeks, so that so you know how we do MCQs. We of course give you options, you give answers. After that, we give some detail about each question, each answer. So that we will continue related to antibiotics in the next few weeks. आइए एक गेम खेलते हैं. Again, a game prepared today morning by Kumar. Also, I must thank Dr. Neha. Neha is here. Dr. Neha, please stand up. Neha Mehta. She had done most of the PPTs for Neha Shah, sorry, done most of the PPTs for today. Thank you, Neha. Yeah. We'll be playing a true or false game based on placebo therapy. One of the components of pharmacotherapy is placebo therapy, right? And we'll play a आधे इस तरफ आधे उस तरफ game in which after you stand up, you will turn right or left depending on whether the statement is true or false. I'll be making several statements. If it is a correct statement, you turn right. If you think it's a correct statement. If it's false, you turn left. जिन्होंने गलत आंसर किया है, वो बैठ जाएंगे. ठीक है? Please stand up. The first statement comes up. The word placebo has a Sanskrit origin. The Sanskrit word means आपको अच्छा लगेगा. True or false? Sanskrit origin, आपको अच्छा लगेगा. Turn right if you think true. Turn left if you think false. Sanskrit origin, word placebo. True or false? Okay. It is false. It's a Latin origin word which means I will please. That's placebo. Okay. I'm happy that first question में ही मेरी नजर अब बहुत लंबी नहीं चलेगी. Okay. सबको अच्छा लगा. तो जो खड़े हैं जिनको अच्छा लग रहा है उनके लिए अगला. The opposite of placebo is nocebo. True or false? Nocebo, N-O-C-E-B-O. Opposite of placebo is nocebo. True or false? या कुछ और शहीद हो चुके हैं. Nocebo is true. Placebo का opposite nocebo है. It is true. Okay. Universally, homeopathy medicines have a greater placebo effect than allopathy medicines. True or false? Greater than allopathic medicines. True or false? आप 45 डिग्रीज पे हैं कुछ लोग. It is false. Allopathic have equal placebo efficacy. Okay, कितने बचे? 3 ही बचे. इधर कोई नहीं है ना? आप एक हैं और वो तो हमारे लोग हैं. तो आप कुमार इन दोनों को प्लीज एक एक बुक दे दो. फिर वील प्ले अनदर राउंड बिकॉज मेरे क्वेश्चन ही पूरे नहीं हो रहे. एक एक और दे दो. श्वेता आपको क्लिनिक में मेरे पास कॉपी है. हाँ सॉरी मेरे पास बुक्स हैं. 2 जो जीते हैं. व्हाट्स योर नेम सर? नीरव शाह. मैम भक्ति. ओके, कांग्रेचुलेशंस टू बोथ ऑफ देम प्लीज. ओके. सो ऐसा है कि placebo effect is a very important component of allopathic pharmacotherapy also. So don't आप लोग कुछ लोग ऐसा समझते होंगे कि होम्योपैथी खाली प्लेसिबो है, तो वो अगर आप माने तो ठीक है, मगर एलोपैथिक की प्लेसिबो इफेक्ट बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो डोंट वरी, don't be disappointed. Allopathy is great placebo medicines. Okay, all of you stand up again, we start again. Same topic. In homeopathy, often white pills are used as placebos. True or false? In homeopathy, white pills rather than colored films are often used as placebos. True or false? वो लोग कलर्ड पिल्स यूज नहीं करते, व्हाइट पिल्स यूज करते हैं. ट्रू और फॉल्स? एज मेडिसिन, एज प्लेसिबो विदाउट मेडिसिन, the pills used more commonly are white and not colored in homeopathy. True or false? क्वेश्चन बराबर नहीं है, क्वेश्चन कैंसल, सीधे हो जाइए. एक नया क्वेश्चन है. White pills work better as placebos than colored pills. True or false? White pills work better as placebos than colored pills. True or false? किसी कोई भी पथी में white pills work better than colored pills as placebos. True or false? ये सबको आ गया, ठीक है. It is false. Colored pills work better as placebos. जो हाँ, small pills which are easier to swallow work better as placebos than larger pills. True or false? Small pills work better than larger pills. True or false? Small pills work better than large pills as placebos. True or false? False is left, true is right. False is correct. Large pills, the larger the pill, the more choking ability that the pill has. Okay. Capsules work better than tablets as placebos. True or false? Capsules work better than tablets as placebos. These are all evidence based. I am not making this up right now. Kumar has done a lot of research for this. Capsules work better is true. Capsules will work better than placebos. Injectables work better than oral medicines as placebo. True or false? Is true again, correct. A young new physician, when dispenses treatment, will have a better placebo effect because of the greater knowledge perceived by patient than an old senior physician. True or false? Even the youngsters are moving left. It is false. The more perceived as experienced person will have a greater placebo effect. Putting a person of knee osteoarthritis under GA and doing sham surgery by just an incision significantly relieves pain. True or false? I'll repeat. Putting a person with knee osteoarthritis, telling the person operation karna hai, putting them under GA, doing just an incision and closing the incision without doing any surgery, what's called sham surgery, will have significant relief in pain. True or false? Will have significant pain relief. The question is, sham surgery, will it have significant pain relief as a placebo effect? True or false? It is true. Sham surgery gives pain relief. Okay, next. Tablets have package inserts, those chota. Reading a package insert can induce a placebo or nocebo effect. True or false? Reading an insert can make them feel, okay, this will work or this will not work or side effects will be there. It is true. When you tell a patient about a medicine, it is better to say that this patient will have efficacy and no side effects 90% times than saying that it will have side effects 10% time. 90% इसमें कुछ नहीं प्रॉब्लम होएगा, या तो 10% इसका साइड इफेक्ट का रेशियो है, 10% ही होता है. Which one has a better or worse nocebo effect? If it has a greater nocebo effect, true, right? Lesser nocebo effect, false, left. हाँ, रिपीट करता हूँ. पेशेंट, आप लोग डॉक्टर है ना, पेशेंट को बोलेंगे ना कि भाई मैं आपको ऑगमेंटिन दे रहा हूँ, ये डायरिया होने का 10% चांस है या नहीं होने का 90% चांस है. यू विल हैव नोसीबो इफेक्ट if you say side effect as the percentage. True or false? Nocebo is kharab effect. The patient will have greater nocebo effect, meaning patient will go diarrhea हो जाएगा. नहीं, नोसीबो वाले और प्लेसिबो, मतलब मेरे कंफ्यूज कर दिया यार मेरे को. ये गलत, ये अच्छी बात नहीं है, सिंपल है. हाँ, 10% बोलेंगे खराब होएगा कि 90% बोलेंगे? 90% वाले राइट, 10% वाले लेफ्ट. क्या बोलेंगे? आपकी इच्छा क्या है बोलने की उनको कि 10% आपको साइड इफेक्ट होएगी, वेल इन्फॉर्म्ड पेशेंट. 90% आपको साइड इफेक्ट नहीं होएगी. आपको साइड इफेक्ट नहीं होगा, मतलब यू आर गिविंग, टेलिंग द पेशेंट कि भाई पॉजिटिव है देखो, नेगेटिव मत देखो. ओके, इतना सारा हिंट के बाद राइट इज करेक्ट. ओके, सो बेसिकली द पॉइंट इज दैट पेशेंट विल हैव अ नोसीबो और विल गेट, अभी आपने दिया उसको पैरासीटामोल और उसको बोला कि पैरासीटामोल से कुछ लोगों को हेडेक होता है तो उसको होगा. ये पैरासीटामोल हेडेक के लिए है, इससे हेडेक नहीं होता तो नहीं होगा. एनीवे, नेक्स्ट, प्लेसिबो इफेक्ट includes early cure of bacterial infection earlier than expected. True or false? It is false. False. So, there are many areas where placebos have great effect, but bacterial infection is not one of them. Placebos can manage nausea caused by chemotherapy to a significant degree. True or false? Nausea of chemotherapy. Placebos can relieve or prevent nausea due to chemotherapy significantly. True or false? It is true. So most of you are out. So कुछ लोग बचे हैं. In treatment of major depression, placebo-related relief or cure can be as high as 50%. True or false? Major depression. True or false? Decision made. It is true. True. We have now 4 people left. आप दोनों गए 1, 2, 3, 4 और 5 और 6. Okay. So depression, the effect of SSRI itself is 60%, maybe 70%, but placebo is up to 50%. So if a patient says कि मेरे को होम्योपैथी से अच्छा हुआ, आपकी दवाई से नहीं हुआ, it might be placebo effect also homeopathy. But what I'm trying to say is, in depression and in anxiety relief rate is 37% with placebo. This is up to 60% in depression. So psychiatric or psychological problems are definitely better handled by placebo, and painful disorders are better handled by placebo. If you wear a white coat in your clinic, the placebo effect of what you give is better. True or false? It is true, correct. The greater the media attention to a particular form of therapy, the greater will be the placebo effect. True or false? True. You know how things have fads. You know, people say intermittent fasting. तो intermittent fasting का fad होता है ना, तो intermittent fasting से weight कम होता है, even as a placebo addition to the actual effect. It's an augmentation by placebo of the effect. magnesium for sleep, for example. Because of the huge social media presence of magnesium, you can have a placebo effect of that. Telling the patient that the placebo, what you are giving is a placebo, मतलब telling the patient देते हुए कि ये placebo है लेकिन तुम ले लो, will negate the effect of placebo. True or false? Meaning it will destroy your placebo effect. सब लोग ने ट्रू बोला लेकिन फॉल्स है. पेशेंट को बोलेंगे ना कि ये मैं दे रहा हूं, इसका कुछ खास रोल नहीं है, लेकिन आप लो, आप अच्छे हो जाओगे. वो अच्छे हो जाओगे जो मैंने बोला है ना, वो प्लेसिबो है. वो कोई बचा नहीं, सब लोग गए. ओके, ये बुक्स मेरे पास रहेंगी और एक और गेम खेल सकते हैं. ओके, सो basically what the message is here was why placebo, because of course all of you are not allopaths only, some are allopaths, some are homeopaths turned allopaths, some are only homeopaths. But we must realize that if you tell the patient with confidence कि एक दिन में ही अच्छा हो जाएगा, you are lying to the patient, but you must lie to cause a placebo effect. That is a strong feeling from my side. Of course science थोड़ा होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं कि चौक का पाउडर दे दिया, बोलो सर पे रखना, ऐसा नहीं. भस्म लगाना, वो नहीं. साइंस होना चाहिए. तो साइंस है और आपके में कॉन्फिडेंस है और पेशेंट को रीअश्योर कर सकते हैं. ओके, दैट फिनिशेस प्लेसिबो. लेट्स गो टू पेज नंबर 13. गुड प्लेसिबोस. सो वो कलर्ड वलर्ड सब मिला जुला के, द मोस्ट कॉमन यूज ऑफ प्लेसिबो इन माय प्रैक्टिस इज फॉर post-viral asthenia, weakness. Generally also weakness, generally weakness. My favorite brand, I'll give you a brand name because I use Archelion, Serdia Pharmaceutical. 3-4 good features: colored tablet, expensive tablet, and single day dose, so compliance is good, 2 tablet OD. I give Archelion and I always tell the patient this. जितने भी लोगों को देता हूं उनको एक दिन में अच्छा लगता है. एंड ट्रूली द फीडबैक इज हमको एक ही दिन में अच्छा लगा. नाउ आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट इट इज अ जेन्युइन मेडिसिन फॉर एस्थीनिया. आई डोंट नो. इट इज पब्लिसाइज्ड एज दैट ओनली पोस्ट. द गुड थिंग अबाउट आर्केलियन इज most people don't know about it. So if I give them Cobadex or Bicosul or tonic कोई Neogardin, they know the thing. ये क्या डॉक्टर यही दे रहा है. वो तो केमिस्ट भी देता था ना. तो अपना एक्सक्लूसिविटी दिखाना है. ठीक है, तो बहुत सारे प्लेसिबोज हैं विच वी जनरली यूज इन प्रैक्टिस. लेट्स गो टू पेज नंबर 13. 13 जाएंगे पहले. Cardiology, pharmacotherapy, some nuggets. I'll teach, so there are say no to, and then there is one page on switch from. These are not absolutely new because we have tried today to make new things for you, but some of them you already know. Say no to aspirin as primary prophylaxis and ASCVD. Now, ASCVD related primary prophylaxis has been a big area of controversy. पहले के ज़माने में ऐसा था कि सभी डायबिटिक पेशेंट को एस्पिरिन देते थे, अगर हार्ट अटैक नहीं आया हो तो भी. हार्ट अटैक नहीं आया या स्ट्रोक नहीं आया उसको प्राइमरी प्रोफिलैक्सिस बोलते हैं. तो वी यूज्ड टू गिव टू, बट नाउ मोर रिसर्च shows that aspirin gives a greater risk of hemorrhages, including IC bleed, than benefit of protecting. Now there is one more research that has come recently कि ages between 45 and 60 ऐसा कुछ तो एज ग्रुप दिया है, उसमें थोड़ा सा शेड बेटर इन प्राइमरी प्रोफिलैक्सिस बेनिफिट दैन रिस्क. वो सब आती रहेगा, ये आती रहेगा. आवर एम इज फर्स्ट डू नो हार्म. वी हैव टू स्टिक टू दैट रूल वेन एवर वी आर कन्फ्यूज्ड. सो एस्पिरिन इन प्राइमरी प्रोफिलैक्सिस नहीं देना है. One area of controversy which will be addressed very soon by a big study is many patients are doing CT angiography currently without any indication, meaning without any symptoms. CT angiography पे अगर 40% का ब्लॉक मिला LAD में या RCA में तो क्या करने का? कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि स्टैटिन लेने का, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं स्टैटिन लेने का क्राइटेरिया में नहीं है. The 4 statin groups do not include plaques in a routine angiography without symptoms. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं एस्पिरिन देने का. एस्पिरिन क्यों देने का? लॉजिक कि प्लाक है, इन्फार्क्ट कब होएगा? 30% प्लाक में When will an infarct occur in a 30% block? When it ruptures. The commonest cause of infarction is not 30% becoming 90% becoming 100%. ऐसा नहीं होता. Pathophysiology is 30% plaque ruptures. The cap, fibrous cap ruptures and platelets aggregate on the ruptured plaque on the lipid core. That causes infarction. So people are saying कि if there's a 30% plaque, rupture होएगा कब होएगा मालूम नहीं, लेकिन platelet aggregation को we can prevent by giving primary prophylaxis with aspirin. This is being now studied because CT angios have become common. This will come. We'll know in a few years what is the result of that. But otherwise, primary prophylaxis is a no-no. Say no to sublingual sorbitrate in acute MI. This still remains an area of kind of debate or mistakes. Sorbitrate, lay people know it has to be taken. They think that it has to be taken. Lay people think it has to be taken. You must discourage that. Sorbitrate is for angina on walking. A known established cardiovascular disease patient, when they walk, they get chest pain. Sorbitrate can be given to prevent that chest pain if they are walking on slopes. माथेरान गए तो स्लोप चढ़ रहे पहले सॉर्बिट्रेट रख दिया जीप के नीचे. They are known cases. But in a patient who has sudden onset, severe rest pain, and you give sorbitrate, it causes the Steele syndrome. Steele phenomenon means sorbitrate causes vasodilatation. It causes vasodilatation peripherally also, but mainly in the normal coronary arteries, which are not the blocked arteries. So एक बार if the LAD के दो ब्रांच हैं, left main के दो ब्रांच हैं, circumflex LAD. अगर LAD में ब्लॉक है 100% और आपने sorbitrate दे दिया, तो coronary flow through the circumflex or the RCA will increase. And LAD में जो थोड़ा trickle हो रहा था वो भी बंद हो जाएगा. तो you will increase the infarct size by giving sorbitrate in a patient with acute myocardial infarction. Second disadvantage is that patients are already hemodynamically unstable. So sorbitrate दिया, patient syncopal episode में जाएगा. They will faint because of low BP due to sorbitrate. So that is why you should not give. Okay. Next, say no to beta blocker as first line antihypertensive. Beta blockers like atenolol in the past or now metoprolol, etc. have been very common first single drugs to be used in early hypertension. No, don't use. Stop using beta blockers as first drugs. Only uncommon situations will you use them as first drugs. Otherwise, use calcium channel blockers or angiotensin receptor blockers as first drugs and not beta blockers, because hypertension, a principal complication that you want to prevent is IC bleed, and beta blockers have a reduced prevention of IC bleed as compared to other antihypertensives, because they do not control the central aortic pressure very well. That is the problem. That is why beta blockers are used as a third line drug in a routine hypertension or a fourth line drug in a routine hypertension. But if the patient has had an infarction with low ejection fraction of 45%, 40%, and is a hypertensive, this patient probably beta blockers becomes a good drug to give. So there are some situations where beta blockers will be first drug, say migraine patient, say patient hypertension with essential tremor. They may become first drug, but not routinely. Say no to DAPT for more than 3 weeks after stroke. As we know, we have often discussed that cardiovascular disease में stent डालने के बाद 1 साल के ज़्यादा लगभग नहीं देते हैं, मगर वो कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट देते रहते हैं, हम लोग कुछ कर नहीं सकते. मगर स्ट्रोक के बाद खास ध्यान रखना है. If a patient has a small infarct, no angioplasty done in the brain, then after the infarct, DAPT, dual antiplatelet therapy, is given for 21 days, not more than 21 days. That is the standard recommendation. So if a patient is discharged on DAPT, you see the patient on follow-up, make sure that you tell the neurologist, if there was no procedure done, may I stop the DAPT. Say no to statins for primary prevention of ASCVD in those older than 75. This is a very important statement. Say no to statins as primary prevention of ASCVD in those older than. Matlab, this is the situation. You have a 78-year-old relative. That 78-year-old relative has a lipid profile. The patient is a diabetic, has a lipid profile which shows LDL of 160. You know that LDL of 160 in a diabetic patient deserves a statin. But if the patient has not had any event of atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, don't give statin if the patient is older than 75. Statins are prolongers of life. If the patient is already 75, then the prolongation that you will cause will be offset by complications of statins, which may include myopathy. You know, already sarcopenia is a problem in the elderly. You will cause more myopathy. You can cause new onset diabetes in non-diabetic patients. So don't give statins as primary prophylaxis in those above 75. This is a strong rule. Say no to statins, even strongly indicated if life expectancy is less than 5 years. I recently had a patient discharged from the hospital, a major hospital, diagnosed as pulmonary cancer with metastasis to the bones. Patient is a cardiovascular disease patient. Patient has been discharged on 20 milligram rosuvastatin. This is a frail patient. Don't give statin to such patients who are going to live less than 5 years, maybe less than 2 years also. Statins are prolongers of good life. Don't prolong bad life in any months, by any months, and don't prolong life where there is, there is no hope for greater than 5 years. So statins, you have to be very sensible in giving statins. You can't give statins just by the number of LDL cholesterol. Next. I have discontinued aspirin, I have discontinued statin on a known atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease with infarction once I diagnosed metastatic pancreatic cancer or once I diagnosed metastatic any major cancer, right? Prostate cancer metastatic, I may not stop because they have a reasonable life expectancy. But otherwise, you must stop in any cancer patients with metastasis. Right, next. Say no to prescribing fenofibrate for ASCVD prophylaxis. Now, this is a strong statement. This is something that I have been not following very religiously. The evidence for prevention of events of atherosclerosis by treating with fibrates, lowering triglycerides is poor. So, I used to say, okay, ASCVD है, अगर 500 से ऊपर है तो फेनोफाइब्रेट दो, 250 से ऊपर है, डायबिटिक है, ASCVD है तो फेनोफाइब्रेट दो. But I think there is evidence is lacking. So you should be, because fenofibrate when combined with statin increases the incidence of both hepatotoxicity and muscle toxicity. So you have to be careful in adding fenofibrate. Poor evidence for prevention of ASCVD, primary or secondary prophylaxis. Say no to amiodarone as a long-term drug for rate control. ये थोड़ा सा consultant level है, but generally, why is it important for you? Amiodarone is an anti-arrhythmic drug most commonly used in atrial fibrillation. The commonest arrhythmia of the elderly is atrial fibrillation. And chronic atrial fibrillation में amiodarone is used for two purposes. One, acutely, पहली बार आया, amiodarone is used injectable or oral to convert, that is called rhythm control, normal sinus rhythm में लाने को. And in patients who have continued atrial fibrillation, it can also control rate, meaning 160 के रेट को 100 रेट ला सकता है. In atrial fibrillation जो atrial fibrillation रहता है मगर रेट कंट्रोल होता है. But in chronic atrial fibrillation खाली रेट कंट्रोल के लिए कॉर्डरोन कभी कभी चालू ही रहता है. Patients keep on taking कॉर्डरोन for life. That has to be avoided. अगर रेट कंट्रोल करना है तो use beta blockers, use calcium channel blockers, use other antiarrhythmic drugs. But amiodarone long term causes thyroid problems, lung problems, eye problems. So you must avoid this toxic drug. Okay, cardiology next, page 14. She is asking, can we go against the cardiologist and stop cordon? It depends on how close you are to the cardiologist. Because friendships are more important than anything else. No? Patient is not important. Friendship is important. So you can decide. Huh? What about the reality? I know. So now I would consult the cardiologist because the cardiologist may know a little bit about the patient, about the atrial fibrillation more than I would know. But I would definitely ask can we choose options? But cardiologist बोल सकता है कि मैंने बीटा ब्लॉकर ट्राई किया है, पेशेंट को अस्थमा है, मैंने डिल्टियाजम ट्राई किया है, पेशेंट को सीवियर कॉन्स्टिपेशन होता है, तो मेरे पास चॉइस नहीं है, which is fine. So that can happen. Okay, cardiologist, some more nuggets. Switch from, again, this is something that I've been repeatedly saying, atorvastatin to rosuvastatin. In patients on, my prescription of atorvastatin currently stands at 0. So I use only rosuvastatin because of the drug interactions of atorvastatin. I don't see, some people do believe that CKD, atorvastatin is better. If their patient has already a low GFR, like less than 60, atorvastatin causes less damage to the kidney than rosuvastatin. Both cause damage to the kidney, minuscule damage, but atorvastatin causes less damage. But otherwise, I would give rosuvastatin to everybody because of lack of drug interactions through the cytochrome P450 enzyme that you can think of doing. Switch from clopidogrel to ticagrelor in ACS. Now हम लोग सब सीखते आए हैं कि जैसे ही एक्यूट इन्फार्क्ट का पेशेंट आपकी ओपीडी में आया तो आपने क्या क्या दिया उसको 325 मिलीग्राम डिस्प्रिन दिया, 4 क्लोपिडोग्रेल दिया, स्टैटिन दिया. ये 3 आप लोग जब जानते हैं स्टैंडर्ड है. अब चेंज करेंगे, क्लोपिडोग्रेल नहीं देंगे. अभी वी विल गिव ब्रिलिंटा, दैट इज योर ticagrelor. Why Brilinta? Why ticagrelor? One, ticagrelor has a more rapid onset of action than clopidogrel. Second, if the patient goes for a primary angioplasty, PAMI, then ticagrelor has a lesser restenosis rate or acute thrombosis rate after as a complication of angioplasty. So that is something that you can keep. You can keep Brilinta. It's an expensive medicine. You have to give 180 milligram. That is 90 milligram का tablet आता है. You have to give 2 stat instead of 4 of clopidogrel. You have to give 2 stat of Brilinta, and you have to give, of course, 325 milligram aspirin with that 2 tablets of Brilinta. Sorry, statin की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, aspirin. So हाँ, whether you want to give statin, yeah, you can give 80 mg atorvastatin or 40 mg rosuvastatin साथ में. Statin is not so important as an urgent drug in the OPD. You can let the patient go to the hospital. But these two you keep in your visit bag so that you can give it immediately. And always write to the cardiologist that these have been given so that they don't double the dose. Sorry, in the acute situation between atorva and rosuvastatin, I would still give rosuvastatin because that is what is going to be continued on discharge. For chronic use, poor patient, you must give clopidogrel. After 1 month of or 3 months of prasugrel, you can switch to clopidogrel. The first 3 months are probably more important for ticagrelor. So prasugrel bola maine, sorry. For ticagrelor than the life. So lifetime में clopidogrel दो, लेकिन पहले शुरू में you can just give the ticagrelor. Okay, next. Switch from warfarin to NOAC in non-valvular AF. Any patient of AF, anybody on warfarin who comes to your OPD is on warfarin. If the patient does not have mitral stenosis, mitral regurgitation with that causing atrial fibrillation, you should think that if the patient can afford a switch. And it's not a very expensive switch because the Indian brands of Apixaban is available. If you can switch to Indian brands of dabigatran, Indian brands of Apixaban, then you should switch. They will save money on the periodic PTINR also by spending more money on the tablet. Okay, next, switch from olmesartan to telmisartan, again a favorite thing for me. Telmisartan and olmesartan in these dose equivalences, 40, 12B, 20 olmi, are equally effective for hypertension. There is no advantage of olmesartan. और जिसका advantage नहीं है, उसको काहे को संभालना, क्यों याद करना? उसका disadvantage ये है कि olmesartan causes more a rare side effect called celiac sprue-like disease. They call it malabsorption syndrome. Rare patients. Also, they cause a little more taste alteration than telmisartan, dysgeusia. So you must. मेरे लिए ये garbage bin drug है, olmesartan. Switch from methyl-dopa to labetalol for gestational hypertension. This we already know. Methyl-dopa is run out of favor. Why is it run out of favor? Because of the significant postural hypotension sometimes depressed feeling in pregnancy. So we have now switched to labetalol as a first-line drug. If the patient is asthmatic, cannot take beta blockers in pregnancy, the choice is calcium channel blockers. You can use amlodipine, for example, rather than methyl-dopa. Next, switch from statin to bempedoic acid if statin is not tolerated. Generally, when statin is not tolerated, we have many options. कि भाई पेशेंट को 20 मिलीग्राम रोजुआ देने का है, पेशेंट को मसल पेन हो रहा है, तो वी स्विच टू 10 milligram and add ezetimibe. अगर फिर भी मसल पेन हो रहा है, we try alternate day therapy. We replenish vitamin D. Some people will give coenzyme Q10, no, not much evidence, etc. These things will be done. But sometimes you will not be able to achieve the LDL target by lowering the dose of statin. In that case, you can either add bempedoic to the lowest dose of statin or give only bempedoic acid. Bempedoic causes a decent fall in LDL. And if you combine bempedoic with ezetimibe, you may be able to achieve the LDL that you want. Bempedoic acid, as you already know, is available as 180 milligram, either alone or in combination with ezetimibe. Now there are triple drug combinations also now coming up, but that I think you should not use. 2 drugs are good. Okay. Switch from PCI, CABG to conservative medical management in asymptomatic coronary artery disease, even if triple vessel. Now this is important again for the GP. You have a relative, you have a patient who comes with an angiography report. The angiography was done because the stress test was positive. Angiography shows triple vessel disease, 70, 80% in 3 vessels. Patient has normal ejection fraction, no myocardial infarction, no symptoms. Stress test was positive and triple vessel disease diagnosed. The first instinct of the patient also, not just the cardiologist, is bypass kara lo ya triple vessel angioplasty kara lo. Remember this, stable ASCVD. अगर angina भी है तो chronic stable angina है, मतलब 1 साल से चलने पे 4 राउंड चलने पे पेन होता है, वो बढ़ नहीं रहा है. अगर stable coronary disease है या asymptomatic है, conservative treatment is as good as interventional treatment or invasive treatment. So this is something that you might have to discuss with the cardiologist कि भाई मेरे को नहीं लगता कि इसको ज़रूरत है, and then you can take a call. Diabetic होने दो, as long as the patient is asymptomatic, we are comfortable. Because studies show that they do not get more events than those who do the CABG or angioplasty. You know that one vessel angioplasty, restenosis rate in 6 months is how much? How much? जब भी एंजियोप्लास्टी किया, स्टेंट डाला, मेडिकेटेड स्टेंट डाला, ड्रग एल्यूटेड स्टेंट डाला, 2% वो लोग लिखते हैं पेपर में. अगर कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट 2% एक्नॉलेज करते तो शायद थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा, कम तो नहीं होगा. तो 2% है. अगर 2% रीस्टेनोसिस रेट है, यानी रीस्टेनोसिस जब होएगा ना एंजियोप्लास्टी में, तो क्या होता है? व्हाट इज द सिम्टम? Restenosis is a thrombus in the stent, in stent thrombosis or in stent re-epithelialization, which occludes. Often the symptom of restenosis is an acute infarction. It does not give warning often. Then that becomes a disaster. So 3 stent डाला, 2%, 2%, 2%. अभी 6% तुमने पेशेंट को रिस्क दिया है. You have gifted the patient that 6% risk by putting the stent. And the patient was never symptomatic. Yeah? This patient, if he was symptomatic, then you may have been justified because your risk reduction is greater than 6%. So then you can take a call. Okay. So, longevity of life will improve with CABG only if ejection fraction is low. If the ejection fraction is normal, there is no improvement in longevity. So you were saying something, sir? No problem. So longevity will increase if ejection fraction is low. Then CABG is better than in triple vessel disease, better than angioplasty also. Okay, we will go back to something else. We'll go to side effects or ADR. I'm not going to read everything here, ADR mein, but I'm going to leave something as homework. Page 15. So we have done an event called SOS ADR, right in this hall few years back, where we have discussed over 3-4 hour sessions on Sundays, ADRs in this very hall, and then we have put up all the videos of that on YouTube. So if you can go to YouTube, SOS ADR, you will probably find all the videos. If you can't find them, you subscribe to our channel called Platform for Intelligent Edutainment. Sorry, lamba naam. Platform for Intelligent Edutainment, PI, that is our firm. अगर if you subscribe to that channel, you will get a lot of videos, बहुत ज़्यादा है. लेकिन अगर आप ADR का वीडियो देखना चाहते हैं, ड्रग इंटरेक्शंस का वीडियो देखना चाहते हैं, तो उसमें सब मिलेंगे. Adverse drug reactions form, I would say, an estimated 20 to 30% of our practice. Every day, at least 2 out of 10 patients, we will be diagnosing an adverse drug reaction or treating an adverse drug reaction every day. In a patient on polypharmacy, every one new drug added is 100% going to cause one ADR. 100%. What is polypharmacy? 5 or more drugs in a patient, excluding the vitamins and supplements, 5 or more drugs is polypharmacy. One more drug added by you, for example, patient है और तुमने एक fungal infection के लिए दिया कुछ, one drug will cause one side effect. So you have to be very careful in knowing all the possible adverse drug reactions and drug interactions. So वो सब आप उधर देख सकते हैं. Page 15 is anticholinergic side effects. This is simple, you already know all this. But more important I would say is, if an elderly patient comes to you, be careful in giving drugs that are anticholinergic in action. That is what you have to probably learn. For example, overactive bladder is a condition that affects the older person more than the younger person. And overactive bladder में solifenacin, darifenacin, Rolatin को क्या बोलते हैं? Tolterodine. ये सब 3 drugs हैं जो commonly use होते हैं. Rolatin, Daritin, Solitin. Yeah, they are anticholinergics. And therefore you have to be careful. If a patient elderly comes with, say, insomnia or depression, then amitriptyline, imipramine, they have anticholinergic properties. You have to be careful. So any elderly patient, if you want to start anticholinergic, start at the lowest dose, start low, go slow. Every time inquire about constipation, about dry mouths, etc. Okay, I'll skip that page. You can read it, simple page. Page number 15 and 16 are anticholinergics. Page number 17, drug-induced Parkinsonism. After idiopathic Parkinson's disease, drug-induced Parkinsonism is the second most common form. You know Lewy body disease? It's a form of Parkinsonism, extramedullary, rare. Drug-induced Parkinsonism is the commoner form. So if you have a patient who's come with Parkinsonian symptoms, and if you find bilateral onset, then you think of drug-induced Parkinsonism. If you have bilateral onset with psychosis, then you can think of Lewy body disease. But principally, think of drug-induced as a very, not an uncommon form. And what are the drugs causing? I have written here. What are the drugs that you use amongst these? Stemetil, Finargan, sometimes antipsychotics like Qutipin, Oleans, Risdone, Perinom, Lisuride, Cybelium, migraine drug. All these drugs can, in the long run, cause Parkinsonism. So this is especially if you give these drugs for long duration in the older person. So you have to take care of these drugs. Okay, so that takes us to page number 18. Sorry. Domperidone का Stemetil जैसा या Perinom जैसा नहीं है. Yeah, so she's asking, can domperidone cause long-term? Yeah, domperidone has significant long-term problems. The main long-term problems are 2. In women, galactorrhea with domperidone, it will take long-term, and QT prolongation, another major complication. Extrapyramidal side effects do occur, but not as commonly as with Stemetil or Perinom. Right? So, yeah. Reversible, all drug-induced Parkinsonisms are potentially reversible, not always. So, for example, the commonest drug that I see as causing Parkinson is Lisuride, Leosulpiride. Leosulpiride, you know, Pantoside L वगैरह में वो criminal drug है. Criminal मतलब There has to be a law against prescribing levosulpiride now. It's a prokinetic in GERD. Levosulpiride causes Parkinsonism, which can reverse. But again, guarantee nahi. Most of the patients I have seen, I would have said 4 or 5 patients, all have reversed after stopping levosulpiride, even if they have taken for months. Right? But I think literature says it can be irreversible. Okay, so boxed warning about fusion. You know what are boxed warning? Boxed warnings are warnings given by US FDA. When they release drugs, or sometimes even after marketing drugs, they will release a boxed warning. Yeah. So I will give you examples and then I'll tell you what we can do about these. Fournier's gangrene is a boxed warning for SGLT2 inhibitors. Fournier's gangrene is a necrotizing fasciitis, potentially deadly, lethal, which occurs in the perineum, below the scrotum or in the perineal region of the female. It causes significant necrosis of the skin. Fournier's gangrene can occur idiopathic also, but it can occur due to SGLT2 also. And you must know about this so that earliest possible diagnosis can be made. Serious neuropsychiatric side effects, tendon rupture and dysglycemia, all have been labeled as boxed warning, meaning when they label it as boxed warning, the insert, drug insert has to display that as a boxed warning. So in fluoroquinolones, psychosis, convulsions, tendon rupture, hyperglycemia or hypoglycemia, that's called dysglycememia, are all warnings with fluoroquinones. What are fluoroquinones? Name some. Start with norfloxacin. Norfloxacin, a fluoroquinolone, Cipro, Moxie, O, Levo, Gemi, Gatti, all are fluoroquinolones. And these can cause these symptoms. Again, my prescription of fluoroquinolones have become nearly zero in the past few years. Nearly zero fluoroquinolone prescription. Whereas, as you know, Orni, O2, Oflox TZ, Ciplox TZ, Cifran CT are so commonly prescribed. We must stop completely, almost completely giving quinolones. Quinolones have now 3 probably indications in our life: MDR TB or XDR TB, atypical pneumonia. If azithromycin cannot be given, I would prefer doxycycline or azithromycin. And third will be prostatitis, bacterial prostatitis. These are 3 indications of giving quinolones. Otherwise, try to avoid quinolones. Next, a new warning related to fluoroquinolones, again released by the FDA, is aortic dissection. Elderly patients who already have a weak aortic wall can have aortic dissection due to fluoroquinolones. Increased incidence of deaths due to coronary events can occur up to months after 2 weeks of clarithromycin. In which condition do you give 2 weeks of clarithromycin? H. pylori. H. pylori दिया किसी गैस्ट्रोनोलॉजिस्ट ने, मरेगा आपके हाथ. मतलब 6 महीने बाद आएगा आपके पास with QT prolongation and arrhythmia. That's a disaster. So another drug that causes a delayed problem is chloromycetin. तो पहले हम लोग देते थे ना chloramphenicol. वो कुछ महीनों बाद बोन मैरो डिप्रेशन के साथ, एप्लास्टिक अनीमिया के साथ आएगा पेशेंट. वैसा ये है. So you have to be careful about clarithromycin. I hate clarithromycin, meaning hate. Long-term use of loperamide can, sorry? H. pylori has multiple regimens, and fortunately, H. pylori has started becoming increasingly resistant to clarithromycin. Fortunately for us. So H. pylori has metronidazole, amoxicillin, quinolones. Now we have 2 drug combinations also which will work. So I'm fingers crossed we don't need. And most of H. pylori prescriptions are unwarranted. Most of the patients get H. pylori treatment because the breath test came positive. They don't have ulcers. So non-ulcer dyspepsia with test positive for H. pylori, people give. It is supposed to be indication. I would not give clarithromycin if that is the situation. Next, ticagrelor can cause significant and sometimes fatal bleeding, and therefore the concomitant aspirin dose should not exceed 100 mg. That again is a ticagrelor warning. आपने ticagrelor दिया है, पहली बार जब दिया acute infection में तब 325 aspirin and 180 ticagrelor दो, मगर when the ticagrelor is continued, typically clopidogrel के साथ 150 aspirin होता है, ticagrelor के साथ 75 aspirin देना है. Yeah, sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I'm just discussing the boxed warnings. Long-term use of loperamide can cause serious cardiac effect due to QT prolongation. लोपेरामाइड के साथ बॉक्स्ड वार्निंग है इंसर्ट में अमेरिका में. लोपेरामाइड लॉन्ग टर्म किस में यूज होता है? वेयर विल यू यूज लॉन्ग टर्म लोपेरामाइड? IBS-D, diarrhea predominant IBS patients are often given daily loperamide correctly for life. Elderly patients, baseline QT prolongation, you must take care of not giving. Next, in February 2019, US FDA released a warning about increased cardiac deaths with efabugestat. Oral contraceptives can increase incidence of stroke. That there is a boxed warning, and this you are familiar with. अगर 35 के बाद है और बहुत साल हो गए हैं oral contraceptives को, तो you should stop the oral contraceptives. Febuxostat in 2019, febuxostat का एक warning था कि it increases myocardial infarctions. बाद में there is some controversy related to that. There are some studies which have come which says febuxostat does not cause, but the warning has, I think, not been withdrawn. So I think we should be careful. Febuxostat is not the first choice drug in urate lowering therapy. That is the one lesson. If we want to start, we start with allopurinol, Zyloric, and not with febuxostat. There are more. I'm not going there because we are now short of time. Go to page number 20. But do read all of them, please. Page number 20, itraconazole, clarithromycin. Again, this is something that we have taught before, I think somewhere or the other. Itraconazole and clarithromycin cause a lot of drug interactions through CYP3A4 enzyme systems. How many of you have not heard of CYP ever? CYP, cytochrome P450 enzyme. A few. Okay, so this is a detailed topic. This is a complicated topic, and there are my talks on YouTube also. And we are in the process of publishing book also. We have given the PDF of the book in the past. We are revising the book, so we hope to kind of give you a new PDF soon. So this is a liver enzyme system, CYP, and drug interactions because of the two drugs given together in some patients can cause this CYP related problems. So for example, I'll just give you one example. Itraconazole fungal में बहुत use होता है. All of you have started using itraconazole very commonly. And if a patient is on atorvastatin, and if you give itraconazole to that patient without knowing the drug interactions, then atorvastatin levels rise remarkably because of itraconazole, and therefore, and you give itraconazole now for 6 weeks also, 4 weeks also, 8 weeks also. So atorvastatin causes myopathy. Rosuvastatin does not have that interaction, but atorvastatin. So if you are giving itraconazole to a patient on atorvastatin, first switch atorvastatin to rosuvastatin and start itraconazole. So many things you will probably get from this list only. Okay, so उसके बाद का जो पेज है वो again same CYP related. You will know why some of the drugs that I put in the garbage bin are put in the garbage bin, because of these things. Read any one. Somebody can read any one of those. Prefer azithromycin over clarithromycin. Azithromycin and clarithromycin both are CYP3A4 inhibitors. Inhibitors of an enzyme called CYP3A4. CYP3A4 is the commonest metabolizers of drugs that we consume. If you inhibit that enzyme, the levels of drugs which are metabolized by that enzyme increase, like atorvastatin, for example. So clarithromycin has a greater inhibition than azithromycin. Erythromycin is a huge inhibition, clarithromycin is a huge inhibition, azithromycin has lesser inhibition. So if you want to give azithromycin rather than clarithromycin or. Okay, so there are many such drugs. We will stop there because we have 2 or 3 more things to do.